Hey there and welcome to the Dave Does channel. Today I'm going to talk about 10 Robert De Niro films that you should see before you die. Now these may not be the top 10 Robert De Niro films of all time. These are just 10 films that I think are great and you should definitely check them out. I haven't seen every Robert De Niro film out there, so there may be some in there that I may not have included in this list that you think I should. So if that is the case, please do let me know in the comments down below. So let's kick this off with one of my favourite films of all time. This is Goodfellas. Goodfellas is a 1990 American biographical crime drama film directed by Martin Scorsese and written by Nicholas Pileggi. It is a film adaptation of the 1985 non-fiction book Wise Guy by Pileggi, and it's starring Robert De Niro, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, Lorraine Bracco and Paul Sorvino. The film narrates the rise and fall of mob associate Henry Hill and his friends and family from 1955 to 1980. This film is pretty much always in any top 10 films of all time. The character development of each character stands out on his films. In many films, it's only the main characters that are fleshed out, with the support cast being either bland or superfluous to the plot. This is not the case for Goodfellas. Robert De Niro plays Jimmy Conway, and although he's not the main lead in his actual role, he is vital to the story, and his character flips between caring to a scarily sinister character. It is a wonderful film that has no limits to the amount of times you can watch it, and still enjoy it like the first time. Second film on the list today is Casino. It is a 1995 epic crime drama film, again directed by Martin Scorsese and adapted by Scorsese and Nicholas Pileggi from the latter's non-fiction book Casino: Love and Honor in Las Vegas. It again stars Robert De Niro, Sharon Stone, Joe Pesci, Don Rickles, Kevin Pollak and James Wood. The film was the 8th collaboration between director Scorsese and Robert De Niro. Now, Casino follows Sam Ace Rothstein, a Jewish-American gambling expert handicapper who is asked by the Chicago outfit to oversee the day-to-day casino and hotel operations at the Tangiers Casino in Las Vegas. Other major characters including Nikki Santoro, played by Pesci, a maid man and a friend of Sam, and Ginger McKenna, played by Stone. She is a streetwise chip hustler whom Sam marries and has a daughter with. The film details Sam's operation of the casino, the difficulty he confronts with his job, the mafia's involvement with the casino, and the gradual breakdown of his relationships and standing as Las Vegas changes over the years. Now this really is a clear follow-up film to Goodfellas, although the characters are obviously not the same. Sharon Stone's character is annoying, but is vital to keep the story from being just a pure gangster film. The best thing about Robert De Niro's playing of Ace is that although he is working for the mob, you actually get this idea from his portrayal that he is just trying to do a great job and be the best at what he does. Third film in the list is another Martin Scorsese film. This came out in 2019 and that is The Irishman. Now this is an American epic gangster film directed and produced by Scorsese from a screenplay by Stephen Zaillian and is based on the 2004 book I Heard You Paint Houses by Charles Brandt. It stars Robert De Niro, Al Pacino and Joe Pesci with Ray Romano, Bobby Cannavale, Anna Paquin and Stephen Graham, Stephanie Kurtzuber, Jesse Plemons and Harvey Keitel in supporting roles. The film follows Frank Sheeran, a truck driver who becomes a hitman involved with mobster Russell Bufalino, played by Pesci, and his crime family before later working for the powerful teamster Jimmy Hoffa, played by Pacino. The film marked the 9th collaboration between Scorsese and De Niro, in addition to Scorsese's 4th collaboration with Joe Pesci, but it was his first with Al Pacino. It was also the 4th collaboration between Pacino and De Niro. This is a long film, however it's great to see the CGI and practical makeup effects used on the actors to age them through the years. What stands out for this film is that you see an entire life of the lead character rather than just a point in his life. Next film on the list is Meet the Parents. It's a 2000 American romantic comedy written by Jim Hertzfield and John Hamburg and was directed by Jay Roach. It chronicles a series of unfortunate events that befalls a good-hearted but hapless nurse played by Ben Stiller named Greg Focker, while visiting his girlfriend's parents Robert De Niro as Jack Burns and Blythe Dana as Dina Burns. In addition, Terry Polo stars as Pam Burns, which is Greg Focker's girlfriend, while Owen Wilson stars as Kevin Rowley, Pam's ex-boyfriend. This film is a remake of the 1992 film of the same name. Universal pictured the rights to the original film with the intent of creating a new version. Jim Hertzfield expanded the original script, but development was halted for some time. Jay Roach read the expanded script and expressed his desire to direct it, but Universal declined him. At the time, Steven Spielberg was interested in doing so, while Jim Carrey was interested in playing the lead role. The studio only offered the film to Roach once Spielberg and Carrey had left the project. Next up on the list is Taxi Driver. This is a 1976 American neo-noir psychological thriller film directed by Martin Scorsese, written by Paul Schrader and starring Robert De Niro, Jodie Foster, Sybil Shepherd, Harvey Keitel, Peter Boyle, Leonard Harris and Albert Brooks. It is set in a decaying and morally bankrupt New York City following the Vietnam War. The film follows Travis Bickle, played by Robert De Niro, a veteran and taxi driver, and his deteriorating mental state as he works nights in the city. Now, with the films The Wrong Man from 1956 and A Bigger Splash from 1973 as his inspiration, Scorsese wanted the film to feel like a dream to audiences. With cinematographer Michael Chapman, filming began in the summer of 1975 in New York City, with actors taking pay cuts to ensure that the project could be completed on a low budget of $1.9 million. Production concluded that very same year. Bernard Herrmann composed the film's music in what would be his final score and finished just several hours before his death. The film has been actually dedicated to him. Sleepers is a 1996 American legal crime drama film written, produced and directed by Barry Levinson. The film stars Kevin Bacon, John Patrick, Brad Pitt, Robert De Niro, Dustin Hoffman, Mimi Driver, Vittorio Gassman, Brad Renfro, Ron Eldard, Jeffrey Donovan, Terry Kinney, Joe Perino, Jeffrey Wigdor, Jonathan Tucker, Bruno Kirby and Billy Crudup. The title is a slang term for juvenile delinquents who serve sentences longer than 9 months. Now, this is a very dark film. Robert De Niro plays the role of a priest who has had his time of being in these youth delinquent detention centres in his time. Now, it's a support role, and he isn't one of the main leads, but he plays it beautifully in his character. And I couldn't imagine anyone else playing the role. It is a very dark film, and if you're of a nervous disposition, there is certain scenes that you definitely wouldn't want to watch. But it really is a harrowing tale, and something that you really have to see to the end to feel and see the team all together in those final scenes. I won't give any more away. Next film on the list is Analyze This. It is a 1999 American mafia comedy directed by Harold Ramis, who co-wrote the screenplay with playwright Kenneth Lonergan and Peter Tolan. The plot follows a crisis-stricken mafioso Robert De Niro, who solicits the assistance of a reluctant psychiatrist, Billy Crystal. Now, if you've only ever seen things like Goodfellas and Casino, you see Robert De Niro as this gangster film, and it's great to see him play a gangster again, but this time in a very much comedy element, with his roles also in things like Meet the Fockers as well. It shows a whole different character to his to his ability to perform. So having this opportunity to see him basically be humorous, have fun with the character, but still have that sinister element of the gangster mafioso role is absolutely wonderful to see. And again, you couldn't really imagine anyone else from those films like Goodfellas playing this role in this type of film. Next on my list is Stardust. It's a 2007 romantic fantasy adventure film directed by Matthew Vaughn and co-written by Vaughn and Jane Goldman. Based on Neil Gaiman's 1999 novella of the same name, it features an ensemble cast led by Claire Danes, Charlie Cox, Sienna Miller, Ricky Gervais, Jason Fleming, Rupert Everett, Peter O'Toole, Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert De Niro, with narration by Ian McKellen. The film follows Tristan, a young man from the fictional town of Wall in England. Wall is a town on the border of the magical fantasy kingdom of Stormhold, and Tristan enters the magical world to collect a fallen star to give to his beloved Victoria. In return for her hand in marriage, he collects the star to his very surprise, is actually a woman. Witches and the Princess of Stormhold are all hunting for this woman. Meanwhile, Tristan tries to get back to the Wall with him before Victoria's birthday, the deadline of his offer. Now, Robert De Niro in this role has such a small part as a sky captain. but he plays it immensely well, being very camp, very funny, very witty, being gruff and grim. Again, it's a role where he absolutely makes it his own. You couldn't imagine anyone else playing the role of that and doing it as well as he actually does, and it's well worth watching the film just for his scenes in the movie. Next film on the list is The Intern. The Intern is a 2015 American buddy comedy drama film directed, written and produced by Nancy Meyers. The film stars Robert De Niro, Anne Hathaway and Rene Russo, with supporting performances from Anders Holm, Andrew Rannells, Adam Devine and Zach Perlman. The plot follows a 70-year-old widower who becomes a senior intern at a fashion website where he forms an unlikely friendship with the company's workaholic CEO. Now, the reason why this film is on here is it's slightly different. It feels like it's in the turn of a romantic comedy. Well, actually, it's just a good friendship buddy comedy. The character development of Robert De Niro's character, where he is just a genuinely lovely character to behold. Everything is honest, everything is sincere, and you feel these bonds of friendship forming around him with everyone within the company, and it's just such a great feel-good movie. It's not going for outright comedy laughs, it's not going for the gangster mentality, it is purely being done as a friendship comedy, and I think it works amazingly well. And it feels like it was probably very effortless for Robert De Niro to perform it. Last film on the list is probably one of my favourite performances by Robert De Niro, and that is the film Ronin. Ronin is a 1998 American action thriller film directed by John Frankenheimer and written by John David Zake and David Mamet under the pseudonym Richard Weiss. It stars an ensemble cast consisting of Robert De Niro, Jean Reno, Natasha McElhone, apologies for bad pronunciation there, Stellan Skarsgård, Sean Bean and Jonathan Pryce. The film is about a team of former special operatives hired to steal a mysterious, heavily guarded briefcase while navigating a maze of shining loyalties. The film was praised for its realistic car chases in Nice and Paris, and that is one of the big standouts for me, is the chases, but again it's the character play, the character development and the interaction between all the characters involved that plays so wonderfully well. It's like, for me, what Mission Impossible could have been with the character development without being too over the top like it was in the early Mission Impossible films. I can't really say too much more about it, apart from it is just a wonderful film. Again, great for repeat watching, and Robert De Niro's calculated character is worth it just for watching that on its own. So that is my 10 films of Robert De Niro films that you definitely must see before you die. Now, if you've got another suggestion, please let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll do another 10 films that you should see of Robert De Niro's before you die. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on another video sometime very soon. Take care.